Mrs. Carter, it's really cold now.
I can see her. I can see her in there. I just don't know what she's doing.
I have lived in this neighborhood for 20 years almost, and I can tell you I know every single one of my neighbors. You know what they say in New York? One never knows their neighbors. That's not true here. I know every single one of them. Like, for example, Mr. Trance on the corner lot. I discovered some years ago that he is actually a registered sex offender from what they call the internet. You see, ever since I learned how to use the computer machine, I looked up every single one of my neighbors. Like another example, Mrs. Pratt on my right. Did you know that she was a teacher in Colorado and had settled here because she went bankrupt there? Oh no, I'm not telling these, but you know, it helps to know something juicy about your neighbors. I have the right to know. I'm the neighbor. That's why, even up to this day, I am very baffled by the curious case of Bijou Daniels. Yes, that young widow that suddenly moved into that shack in front of my bungalow. I have this feeling that she's doing something illegal. I mean, come to think of it, this is an actual widow who I know. After I rummaged through her mail one time when she wasn't home, she's receiving unemployment benefits and all that government welfare in the mail. From looking at her Facebook profile, I know that just last year she lost her husband to an accident and has 2 sons that she's taking care of. She only has a part-time job at the local Jewel, and that's it. That's why, to my horror, when I sat beside her at church once, my jaw dropped when I saw her put a $50 check in there. For all I know, that's way more than 10% of her salary at Jewel, and if you count her government checks, she's tithing way more than she's giving. I mean, even with me, I give $100, but that's a hard-earned $100, mind you. So I told her, honey, you don't need to give that much. You need the money. What really made me suspicious was what she said. That's fine, Mrs. Carter. When my husband was alive, we used to give the same amount because that's what we could afford. But now, I trust God in what I give, even though I know that I have to cut corners somehow. I just thank Him so much for all of the things that He has blessed me with after my husband died. And this, well, you cannot outgive God. So I started my investigation. For her to be able to give something as big as $50, there must be some illegal explanation. Who in her right, widowed mind would be willing to cut corners just to give to church? Certainly not me. However, no matter how hard I look, I can't find any marijuana plants or gold or anything suspicious in her house. It's still quite a mystery to me.